Yo, what is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Jacob Finley Road to Glory. Today, we're taking a step back from our Week 1 game, but first off, Jacob Finley intercepts the first pass of the day and takes it to the house. I didn't get a chance to introduce the series before Jacob Finley is already making a play, a pick six to start his Week 2 campaign against Arkansas State. He had a huge performance in Week 1, had the pick on his first ball thrown at him, takes it to the one, had a second pick on a deep ball that you saw last episode, an incredible play, and he's starting out this week with a pick six to start off the day. Arkansas State comes right back though, 7-7. You'll see this is a little bit different than our Washington State game, where I showed you basically uncut footage straight through because it was a big game. But today we're playing Arkansas State and Mississippi State, I do believe. So both these games will be cut up to show you Jacob Finley highlights and just game highlights in general. As Jacob Finley with a big tackle for a loss right there. Read the screen perfectly. A nice play. Let's talk about how this is the second week in a row I've jumped that curl route just to perfection the first time that they've ran it, and I picked it off both times. That gives Jacob Finley 3 interceptions. Here's the curl route once again. They're going to throw it in the flats, and I just cannot time that one. I just missed that one. Just missed it. The 3rd and goal here. We get kicked out right there just at the very end. Arkansas State's going to take the 14-7 lead. But Jacob Finley, 3 picks through 2 games right now. Not even 2 full games. A game and a half pretty much as Arkansas State scores once again. But we do respond with a couple of touchdowns ourselves. It's 28-20 here early in the 3rd quarter. Try to bait the throw again, but the receiver comes back for it. That curl route is our money play for the interceptions, it looks like, here early on in the year. But we're not always going to pick it off there. And it's going to be tough to continually get interceptions in this series. It just always is tough. But right here could have been another one. But instead, it's going to be the other corner picking it off, taking it to the house. 3rd turnover of the day for Arkansas State. And we take the 42-20 lead, really putting this one out of reach. It was a close game for a while. Like I was saying, though, this is different than the Washington State episode. I'm basically showing you my highlights and basically some of the game highlights, some of the bigger plays in the game. As here's a check down pass that just gets over Jacob Finley's head. It's going to be a turnover, and that's actually going to be the game. 42-20. Auburn's going to walk out of here with a win, and we're going to move on to our SEC opener against Mississippi State. That will also just be a highlight type of video as Jarrett Stidham had himself a nice day, 196 yards through the air on 10 of 15, and a good rushing day per usual for Jarrett Stidham. We had 5 tackles, 1 for a loss, and 1 pick, and here's the top 25 standings, still just outside the top 25 after that victory. Had a big Week 1 victory against Washington State, who are at 24 right now, but we are still in the receiving votes, receiving 93 votes, still not in the top 25, but we're facing a very good 2-0 Mississippi State team, 2 2-0 teams here. But if our offense plays the way that they're capable of, I have no doubt that we should win this game at home pretty handily. And it should be a good matchup. We'll see if Jacob Finley can get another pick here. But the first pass is for 15 yards. It's Nate Fitzgerald who almost throws a pick six right there to Jamel Dean. That could have been costly for Mississippi State. This one I show a few more highlights from all over the place instead of just my highlights. The Arkansas State game ended up just not being close though, and I knew it wasn't. So I didn't want to just spam you with a bunch of just pointless highlights. We did end up getting the victory here. You'll see more about the game. That's a 92 rush right there from Martin. Gives us off to a great start. 7-0. This team is really balling right now, but even after this week, if we can win this week, we play at LSU, which is going to be a great one, especially the way their defense plays. It's 3rd and 16 now for Mississippi State, throwing it deep to my guy, but he's going to overthrow him, and the safety had my back, picking that one off. I needed the safety help there. I couldn't really stay stride for stride right there at the wide receiver, which is not very as unsurprising to me, especially when I try to bait him to make the throw a little bit. I get behind just a little bit. But either way, we take the 14-0 lead here in this Week 3 game against Mississippi State. And a 2-yard run by Williams against a big 3rd and 5. A passing down. This is where Jacob Finley is going to make his money, and he's going to get beat on an inside route for a 14-yard pickup, but he does make the tackle. Got to make sure I get those stats when I mess up like that, because you go minus 26 on the bad man coverage. But here's a fumble by Auburn, and or not by Auburn, by Mississippi State, and Auburn picks it up, and we take a 21-0 7-0 lead here early in the second quarter. This one's getting out of hand early, but there's a 17-yard screen reception from Williams. Now 2nd and 11, dropping back once again as Fitzgerald. He's scrambling. He's taken down and sacked. A loss of 6. 3rd and 17. Here's another pass play thrown to my guy once again. That one wasn't as bad a coverage, but I didn't get the tackle either. 14-yard reception. They're going to have the ball now here under 2 with 2nd and 7. Fitzgerald stepping up in the pocket. He's sacked once again. We're just not letting Fitzgerald get loose, and that was our key to victory here. Fitzgerald can do a lot with his legs, but if we can really just minimize that and make him into a pocket passer, we had all the time in the world to win this game. It's 27-0 right now. 1st and 10. Fitzgerald going to find his man over the middle. It's the start of the third quarter. This one is already ugly and could get even worse if Mississippi State can't score on this drive. Jacob Finley hasn't done a whole lot defensively, but when they're not throwing the ball that much to his way, there's not a whole lot he can do as he misses a tackle there, though. There are some other things that he could be doing better, but missing that tackle is not going to give us any stats there. This trying to bait a little curl route once again. Couldn't quite get him to do it. It's an 8-yard reception on the other side of the field. 2nd and 2 now. Dropping back once again as Fitzgerald. My man's open over the middle, but they set up a screenplay, which is going nowhere. A loss of 2. 3rd and 4. 2.5 to play here in the third quarter. They're going to throw that to the other side, and he's going to be taken down after a pickup of 1. And they're going to punt the ball once again. And Auburn's going to drive it down the field once again. They are still driving. That's a 2-yard rushing touchdown from Martin, and I did return a kickoff for a touchdown. Mississippi State did, so we didn't let up any points, but the special teams did. But then we came right back with a touchdown. It's 40-7 here in the fourth quarter, but really that just took away a few reps defensively from us with the kick return for a touchdown. Either way, though, Jacob Finley has not got a whole lot of action on this side of the field. I feel like a lot of teams are going to stop throwing at Jacob Finley with his 3 interceptions and what's going to be 3 weeks and not 2 weeks. But still, that's a good number to have. 3 interceptions in 3 weeks, but the way we started out, jumping those routes, had a pick 6, had one return to the 1-yard line. Teams are not going to be wanting to throw his way a whole lot more. We're just going to have to try to bait him even more into doing it, but that's going to cost for some more bad decisions for me because I'm going to want to jump routes, get interceptions, but I'm probably going to leave my man a little bit too open, and they're probably going to catch it on me, and I'm going to lose more of my coach trust, but that's not a huge deal. It's 4th and 1 right here. This will be the last play defensively if we can get a stop, and that's exactly what Jacob Finley does. He tackles him for a loss, shushing the crowd there, even though we're at home. Makes no sense whatsoever, but only 2 tackles, 1 for a loss for Jacob Finley. The top 25 standings are out once again, still just out of the race, but that is all for today's episode. We have a big Week 3 matchup against LSU. Make sure you come back and tune in for that one. As always, I'm out. Peace.